good afternoon, good evening, whenever you see this. So, if you are on my YouTube and you're wondering why I posted that picture at the beginning, and the picture I posted up there is someone sitting in a sweater with a cup of coffee and a book, and there's um, a fall leaf on there. And that's because it's freaking cold here today. I don't know. It's cloudy, overcast. Hopefully, it's going to warm up some. Something about a heat wave. I don't know about any heat wave that's happening. All I know is that it's been off and on, hot and cold here in Calgary. I don't know if any, other places. I know Penticton is supposed to have a heat wave, the Okanagan Valley, um, other parts of Canada, down into, I mean, even California has had weird weather. They've had a lot of rain and stuff like that, which is good. They need the rain, right? So, welcome everybody, and thank you for joining me. If you're just joining me, I am Mary June Tracy, the Guru Mama, and bringing you the 411 of the shenanigans of the planets, a spiritual love of life coach, a author, a publisher. Yes, I have 3 books now. 4 books. 4 books? Yeah, 4 books. So 2 notebooks and a weekly journal for 2023 and a traveler's journal, a traveler's notebook. So, and right now I'm working on something else for there, and I'm working on another project. So this energy that's coming in, and we're at a huge Venus Gazini right now, weekend. So I had to write all of this down. So we have Venus, the sun in Leo, right? And then we have Moon in Cancer. So both of these are at home. It's intense. And we have Mercury and Mars. And Mercury is coming into retrograde in 11 days. Venus is retrograde. They're squaring Uranus. Woo, big questions right now. So there's some huge questions that are coming up. Big squares. So we have that Uranus and Uranus and Jupiter, and with this Leo energy and this Taurus energy, it's bringing in this intensity, and it's about the values and the world changing. It's about changing our values, changing our ideas, expanding. This is the big dude. Jupiter's the big dude. He's expanding the world. He's expanding our ideas. He's expanding the way that we do things. And they only meet, Jupiter and Uranus only meet up every 13 years, and this is year 1. He's meeting them up. And we got to look at things differently. And that's what Uranus wants us to do. Look at the world, look at your values, look at what you do differently than what you have been looking at them before. This is a new world. And it would feel like, especially with the sun and Mercury, this aspect is this new world, this new energy. It's different. It's crazy. And it's nutty. And it's not to be afraid. This isn't about being afraid. This isn't about going around hiding or being the ostrich with your head, in the sand. I mean, that's the old world. That's the old way of doing things. And this is not to be afraid, not doing it perfectly. This is where we have to start stepping up the ladder. We're going to a place that we haven't gone before, and allowing ourselves to peek up there. And oh man, I remember Merlin talking about this, and he was saying how, I can't remember, I don't know if it was John Dietz, but it's about peeking into that God realm, peeking over into the other side. And the other side has Uranus, has Pluto and Neptune there. That's the God realm. That's the other realm. That's what, in the old world, that's what they believed it was. And this is a new world, a new energy, a different world. And this is where we are with this Mercury and Mars, and that's in opposition with the Neptune and with Saturn. And this is where it's like, Saturn is like, what kind of what kind of structure do you want to build, right? What kind of things do you want to build? Are you wanting to build things out of twigs? Are you just building this old structure that sort of maybe it'll be kept together, maybe it'll last through the winter? What kind of structure do you want to build? What do you want to create? Do you want to create something that has solid foundations in what you want to do and where you want to go? Is this the energy that you want to bring forth? Or do you want to stay in the twigs? Do you want to stay in the old ways? So this is don't give up, because it might not be going in the direction you want it to. Like you're wanting this is the way we've always gone. This is the way we always wanted to do it. Pluto in Capricorn is changing that. It's giving us detours. It's giving us new directions. And many times we don't want to do that because it's uncomfortable. And I don't want to learn that. It's just doesn't feel right. I've never done it this way. That's not how I want to open a business. That's not how I want to do a relationship. Right. So this is where it's where we're getting into like especially with Mars and Virgo, and trying to figure it out. And the funny part especially with Jupiter squaring over to the Sun and Venus, and then trining over to Mars and Mercury. Perfection is the unpredictable. That's where the perfection is. The perfection is in the unpredictability and approaching life in the happiness of this unpredictability, approaching our comforts. Like approaching our comforts is in the unpredictable, which is uncomfortable. So we got to get into the uncomfortable, which will become comfortable, which will be allowing us to take the steps into new values, new ways of looking at it, things, new ways, opening our ways up and saying, wow, I didn't know it could be this great. I didn't know we could create this way. This is where this craziness comes in. And then we have this Cazimi coming in. And that is where Venus passes the Sun, right? And this only happens every 18 months. So it's like birthing something new. It's sort of an odd birth because, it's birthing something new. There's something that is being burnt off, burnt away. So there's the purification of the heart, and it's in Leo. The last time it actually happened in Leo, because this is the first time Venus has fully retrograde in Leo, but she has retrograded from Virgo into Leo. And the last time she really did that was in, let me think, it was in 2015, I believe. It's 2 degrees before. So I think it was, I got it in my notes. I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget. 2015, 8 years ago. So she did this before in 8 years. There was a purification 8 years ago that we had of something that we were seeding, something that we were trying to birth. And now we're coming into creating something else new out of that, of what we started 8 years ago. So there's a perfection. And in this, we are approaching this energy. We're approaching this newness of creation, of creating. And with this Gazini, which will be at 4:15 Pacific Standard Time tomorrow, this purification of our lives, our heart, our happiness, our spiritual approach. And this is where, especially where Mars is and where Mercury is, and Mercury's at home. It wants to do things in a certain way, wants to have, this OCD crazy. That's the shadow side. The shadow side is where our mind is focused into where we want to be. This is the way that we want to be. This is the way we've always done it. And this is where it's like, and staying in that, this is where the rhythms are being disrupted. The things that we do and the way that we do them are being disrupted. And in that disruption, this is a positive disruption of those rhythms, of those energies. It's this, newness that's coming in. And I feel like it's almost like these waves are coming in and washing us, purifying us into creating something new, creating something that is within this fixed energy. And that's what makes it difficult, because it's fixed energy. It's like telling a Taurus or telling a Scorpio or telling a Aquarius or a Leo, we're going to do this totally differently. I know you. This is the way that you've always been at center stage. This is the way you've always done your groups. This is the way you've always done your finances. This is the way that you've always, put up your boundaries and you did your craziness, Scorpio. This is bringing in something new of doing it. And can be very difficult, and it's in our hearts. Wants to be, it wants to be in our hearts, but it's our stubborn way of what the way that we want to make us feel, the way we want to do things and how we want to do it. And yeah, there is a different approach, a different world. You have to come into it a different way. It'll work. And that's even for me in approaching, transitioning and doing a new business and doing a new creation that, yeah, it's been there. I've been thinking about it, but it's creating something in a new way and doing the steps that need to be done. And with the North Node in Aries, and Pluto is squaring the nodes with this Gazini, it's changing our direction of our lives and events and coming into our lives. This is a deep reflection of our lives. This is a good aspect. This is best, and it's changing. And the moon is sextiling over. It's bringing in this change. It's this mutable reception. The moon would change with Jupiter because the moon is exalted in Taurus, and Jupiter would love to be in Cancer. Would love to be in Cancer. And this is where it's a very strong, especially with Mercury who's home and the sun who's home in this Gazimi. And it's before the balsamic moon right now by 2 degrees. And then the balsamic moon happens right after the Gazini at around 8 or 9. This is very auspicious. This is where we're finding new phases and new ways of looking at it. We have a Juno opposition with Pluto. Wow. This is where Juno, in order for her to get to her status and keep her status, that's why she puts up with Zeus's shenanigans, because he exalted her. He brought her up, right? So it's us looking at what we are needing to connect with, something external that we need to connect with, emotionally brings us to some kind of power, some kind of new way of doing things. But it's that connection from the outside of allowing ourselves to be open to doing it, to be open to learning, to be open to allowing ourselves to explore this new. And the irony of it is that this power, that she's it's this power that we're trying to find the match to it. It's the power that we're finding the match. That's why with the rhythms and that being disrupted, we're on this journey of finding and exploring and recreating our own selves. And this is really a pressure. This is a pressure and vitality weekend of letting go of the old ways, letting go of doing things and cutting away. And that's Saturn. Saturn saying, why are you doing this way? Stop getting lost, get sensible, and here's Saturn, trying to get sensible as he's in Pisces, trying to figure things out. And he's retrograde right now. And we got to think this through. We can't just go off willy-nilly. There has to be some kind of structure, some kind of plan with this as we are creating. And within this plan of what we are creating, it's going to be something new, something explosive, something that we haven't conceived as of yet. And that is where Uranus comes in. So we're making adjustments, and we haven't really seen things in the lifestyle, and this is our lifestyle is going upon this elevator, and it's taking us to a new floor, a new level that we haven't seen before. We haven't been up there before. And once we be up there, we're going to see things in a whole new way. You're down here, you don't see things as well as what you are when you're up here. You get a whole new bird's eye view, and as you get this bird's eye view, you get this like, oh my gosh, there's so many more opportunities for me, so many ways of doing things. And this is where, we see emotionally and want to be interestingly on the other side, And this is with our values, our projects, and they could be boring. We're finding it boring. This is boring. Why are we doing this again? And I mean, with Mars and Mercury and Virgo will do things over and over again to get that perfection. But this is where, we're feeling this part of this Gazini, especially with the sun and with Venus, where we're feeling true happiness coming into that truth of who we are. And Mercury and Mars can do it over and over again. And it's not the thing is that with Saturn comes in, yeah, you could do it over and over again, but are you doing the past over and over again? Are you repeating that? Are you doing the self-sabotaging? Are you allowing for that fear of the shadow to come in to keep you in hold? This is our talents and skills are going to a new level of us learning. It's like learning a new technique, learning a new software, and having to embrace the new software in learning the new way of doing it and working out the little glitches that are within this new software. So this is really bringing in, especially with and the moon is going to be squaring Chiron during this Gazini too. Everything is uncomfortable. Things are uncomfortable. People are going through uncomfortableness. And this is that we need to punch through it and punch through the ceiling. This is it's a ceiling that needs to be shattered. That is no longer holding you in place. That you are able to move through it and this new way to challenge, and it's challenging with the heart because the heart of the purification, because we're in Leo, makes it even more powerful. So this is very powerful energy that we are having right now and that we're going through. Intensity. This is beginning, new seeds, burning the purification. Whew, man. It's crazy. I've been up since 4:30 this morning. I just woke up and I probably awake before then. And I was like, "Oh, you know what? Just get up. Just get up. Make yourself a cup of coffee." I did a TikTok and I was going to say a Tic Tac. I did a TikTok and that was on my second cup of coffee. This is my third cup of coffee. Probably won't be having any more after this. It'll be just water after this and some tea. So let's pull some cards. Let's see, and I saged the cards. I'm also, I got to tell you this because I'm just so hyped right now. I'm creating a new brand. That's what I'm doing. And that's scary. I never thought the Guru Mama was a brand, but it is a brand because I've had it for so long and people identify to me as the Guru Mama or Mama G. And this is stepping into breaking away from that and doing something completely different. It's that Guru Mama is still a part of me. It's still there. It is a part that it is my spiritual part. It is a part where, for the spiritual teachings and coming into the guidance of the goddesses, that's to me what the Guru Mama is. And now especially with this Taurus energy is really embracing the foundation of this world, embracing, and especially, and with Pluto in Capricorn, it is looking at how can I really embrace these new foundations and create out of these new foundations, create something that's viable, something that is going to bring substance, not only to myself, but to others. So this is really a huge piece of my growth. And this is also where it's like, you know what? I want to I'm heading in a direction where I really want to have a strong foundation that I've never really had before and bring that forth. I've never had where I've always gone flying by the seat of my pants, basically. And this is where it's like, no, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to create something that is mine, that's sustainable, and that I don't have to worry about, ooh, am I going to get fired, or ooh, did I say the wrong thing, or ooh, did I offend somebody? Like, fuck me. Like, no, that's not how I want to be. When especially when you work in with a company, corporation. There is that sort of thing that overhangs you. I was watching, somebody sent me a TikTok, and I think it was Virginia, and she sent me this TikTok, and it's about this woman saying, "Why do you have to give 2 weeks notice?" And it's true. Why? I mean, if you got fired, you're fired. You're out the door. They don't say fired, but you'll end it in 2 weeks. No, you're out the door. That connection between you, or what they want for you from you, is different than what they give you. And this is where boundaries come in. This is where you set up your boundaries. This is where you set up what it is that you want to do. We've been trained, oh no, you got to give 2 weeks notice. No, you don't. You can give a week's notice. You could go in and say, no. Many of us, are like, oh, but I don't want to leave them stranded. The company was working very well before you got there. If you left, if you were sick, it would still continue running. But that's part of changing our ideas, going to that next level, saying, no, I'm putting me first. I'm allowing for myself, my values to come first before somebody else's. That I'm standing in this power that is going to allow for light to shine, to allow for others to have their light shine. That's the beauty of it. That's beauty right there, man. So we have our first card, and it's the Nine of Raphael. So we have the Nine of Waters coming in, and this is about your reality. What are your dreams? What is that you want to create? He's holding an Aladdin's lamp, right? So he's holding this lamp, and I never look at this, but sometimes there's, I'll turn right to it. Hold on. So this is looking at trustworthy, the end of stress, happily ever after. It's the Nine of Cups. It's your wishes. It's what is it that you want to create. So it's bringing things that you are wanting to create and bring them down into form. And in bringing them into form, the Five of Waters, releasing any regret. So looking at the things that have been holding you back. When you see the Five of Cups, it's like you're looking at everything that was, and you're not turning around and looking at the new opportunities that are there, because you're hanging on to what was. You're hanging on to those 3 cups that have fallen over. They've fallen over. Oh my God, you're looking at the regret. You're looking at everything. But there's joy that's coming in. There's something new that's coming in. It's a new road. It's a place that we've never been before. We have to go and embrace this opportunity in order for us to find the truth of our happiness and to live within our heart center. And in doing that, the Ten of Michaels. Wow. Situations are ended. We're done. It's done. It's finito. This is where, again, new opportunities, new opportunities, new opportunities. Each card is saying there's a new opportunity. But you have to walk towards that new opportunity. You have to go on that road for that new opportunity. You can't just sit there and say, oh, it's a new opportunity. That's nice. Which way do I go? No, you got to get off your ass and start doing it. Put the past behind you. It's done. It's done. It's over. Look at the Ten of Swords. You have a tarot deck? Pull out the Ten of Swords and take a look at it. Right? This is a very nice Ten of Swords. Beautiful swan, transformation, change. Swans are powerful, right? So bringing in that change and transformation of situations that no longer are in your alignment, but you want to hold them, whether it's things to do with your relationships, your projects, and you're hanging on to them, and you're just like, but I want to do this in a new way. I want to create something in a new way. I want to do my relationships in a new way. Maybe you want to start talking to the person that you're in a relationship with. That would be new. You know, this is creating. This is creating. And within that creating, here comes the 8 of Pentacles. The 8 of Pentacles. Taking pride in what you do, allowing for you to look at what you want to do and practice at it and learn it and create it. The more you learn about something, the more you start to embrace it and not be afraid about learning about it, the more power you have. How beautiful is that? I know I was a little intense today, people, but it's an intense kind of day. That's what it is. If you are wanting a reading, get a hold of me at thegurumama@gmail.com, and definitely we'll get you in for a reading. Have a blessed one, everybody. Have a great one. And may the Lord and Lady watch over and bless you in all that you say and all that you be and all you do. Go out, create something new. Go out and allow yourself to do something bold and different that you've never done before. And allow yourself to go to a new rhythm. Maybe there's a shirt in there that you bought because you saw it on somebody. You're like, oh my God, I love that shirt. And you bought it, and you're like, oh my God, I can't wear that because people will stare at me, and you're afraid. Put that shirt on. Step out. Step out of your boundaries. Step out into this new rhythm, into this new wave that's coming forth. Because we want safety and security. Want to stay in the home, want to have safety. This is safety. This is security. We're in a world that is getting us to move out and connect, connecting with one another, connecting with people. And that's important. That's what we have to do, is connect. So talk to you all. Have a great one. Don't know if I'll do one tomorrow. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. Can't say. Probably will. You know, it's just one of those things. But hey, I love you all. Thank you for being a part of my my group. And like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. And yeah, have a good one, everyone. And we'll talk to you all tomorrow. Yeah, probably tomorrow. So I always say, I don't know, maybe. So have a blessed one.